Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. For today's review, we're going to take a look at the Shinkocchou Seihou Gridman, the Hyper Agent figure. I got this figure off of Amazon, and I think he's actually still in stock for the price I paid for him. Honestly, I picked this guy up just because he looked cool. He was a different Shinkocchou Seihou. I didn't know they were going to make him. I haven't watched anything Gridman, I just think he looks cool. But I picked him up just to see what he was working with. His effect parts look cool as well. So he comes in this brown shipper box, and then on the inside is the front of his box, which is just a picture of the actual figure, which is pretty cool. His eyes do not light up, unfortunately, but maybe an SHF upgrade kit will make that happen for us. On the side just says Gridman, the Hyper Agent. On the back, you see a bunch of the legalese and some pictures that you can get to show pictures of poses you can get Gridman into, some of the accessories that he comes with, and then on the other side, Gridman. So let's get this guy open and take a closer look. Alright, so here's Gridman out of the packaging, and I've never had this happen to me before, and I didn't even know it was possible with Tamashii Nations, but check this out. He's got two of the same feet. I looked down at him, and I was like, you know what, something doesn't look right. And he's kind of standing a little weird, and yep, it's because he has two of the same feet, which is very, very interesting. So I'm going to have to ask Amazon to send me a brand new one. But yeah, that's very interesting. I'm also not taking off that plastic on the center one because I got to return it. But also in the instructions it says this paint would rub off if you move it too much. So yeah, but beyond the feet being crazy, he looks really good. Like the head sculpt looks really, really nice. Like that, I think would make any fan of Gridman pretty happy. Of course it doesn't light up, but it is clear and it has that kind of like honeycomb looking texture in it. And the helmet shape is really nice. Looks like an actual person's head is in there. It's not like thin and narrow. So that's really cool. And then coming down to his outfit, this little jewel in the center is see-through as well. Really nicely painted and sculpted on the silver parts. His back looks really nice. His little bracer portion is really nicely and cleanly painted. Back of the legs look good. And then the front has these yellow bits, which are separate pieces of plastic. And then coming down to his feet, which, you have that issue. But very interesting. So for his articulation, he can look up about that much. I don't know if Gridman flies, but I guess if you need him to fly, he can kind of look up if you get it at the proper angle. But, this back piece of his helmet is actually getting in the way. So it's not going to go that far back. And he does have head tilt. Can look side to side, of course. And then he does have neck articulation. And then for the arms, they go up about this much. He does have a butterfly joint, so you can bring his arms all the way in the front. And that's really good because he comes with an axe. Hoping his little shield thing fell off. And then that's what it looks like from the back. Kind of not great because you see all the mechanical bits, but you can kind of finagle it with like the shoulder pauldrons to kind of hide it a little bit. That's not too bad. And of course he can do a complete 360. He has a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. Get better than 90. And then of course his little shoulder pads just go up and down. I don't think they pull out. Let me see. Nope, they just detach. All right, and then going back. Nope, this is definitely going to be a problem. Getting this back on there. I hate putting these shoulder pauldrons back on. It's like if you take them off, that's about it. Yeah, whatever. We'll just leave it off for now. Put it back on later. But his arms don't go, super far back. For our torso articulation, he goes back pretty far. Goes back that much. And then he can crunch forward this much, which is really, really good. He can rock side to side. Really good. So you can get him in all kinds of poses, all kinds of dynamic poses. This is super cool. So anybody who likes Gridman is going to be super happy with this. And then this waist piece is a soft plastic, so he can kick up about that far. He does have double jointed knees. He does have a thigh swivel way up here. This part doesn't do anything. It's just there, but it, you know, is a separate piece. He can do the splits, about that much. And then down here, he doesn't have any swivel. And then this little cuff piece is another little loose piece. And then the foot can go up about that much, come down about that much. And then you do get a decent ankle pivot and a toe joint. And then one last thing, of course his hands are on the typical SH Figuarts ball hinge. So that's all well and good. Yeah, he moves really well. Like, you can get him in a lot of cool stuff. Just adding up with the torso articulation, his arms. I don't know any of his signature poses. All the ones on the box just have him with his weapons. But you could definitely, you know, get him doing some high kicks. So that looks pretty good. And then you can have him posed up with his weaponry whenever you want to do that as well. But yeah, articulation-wise, this guy is great. So let's take a look at his accessories. Alright, so for his accessories, he comes with a pair of gripping hands, which are just all red, but they're nicely sculpted. He comes with a pair of these, like, palm strike hands. I really like the way these are sculpted. Like, this is cool. He comes with a pair of these pose or, like, reaching out hands. He has another pair of hands that look kind of relaxed, but you could probably also use them for other things, like landing or palming something. He has a pair of pointing fingers. He has a pair of karate chop hands. And then he has another hand that's a little bit more tilted, but it's also a gripping hand. And then for his weapons, he comes with this really cool effect part. Looks like a Spacium beam from Ultraman. And then for this one, you just have to unplug the gauntlet on his arm. Then you plug this gauntlet in, and then, well, if it wants to stay in. Let's try that again. It's not super heavy, so... Alright, let's try to get that in there. Okay. So yeah, you can have it plugged in like that. So that's super cool. Like, I like that a lot. That looks awesome. And then he comes with his axe, which comes in the box like this. But according to the instructions, you can lift this piece up, then you turn it backwards, and then you could take, I think, you can take this piece, I don't think that's correct. Well, anyways, you can fold this in, and then you can put these pieces together so like they hook up to one another. I know you can put this little spike piece on top, which it's got like these little holes. I don't know if you can see that. You can kind of see it, I guess. These little holes up there, but it's not, I don't think these holes are for anything in particular. But it's saying you can just slot them in there. And you're supposed to be able to just kind of put this underneath, and then it makes like his battle axe or a lance or something like that. It's keyed a certain way, so very interesting. I don't know. I'll play around with it, but essentially it's supposed to all connect like that, and then you get like this battle axe piece that's not just a shield, and then if you want to undo it, of course, you just reverse the process, open this back up, and then you can flip this back around to the front. And then it goes back to being this shield thing, which I guess you can just have him hold back here. And then you get his sword, which is pretty cool. Really nicely painted and sculpted. Continues that metallic blue and yellow motif, and then that nice silver on the end. And that is all that he comes with. Nothing else. I'm not upset about that because I think these accessories are good enough. I don't know anything about Gridman once again, so if you guys think he should have come with something else, if you're a huge Gridman fan, please let me know. But yeah, I think this is good. This is worth the money, especially that effect piece. That's pretty awesome. Let's get into some size comparisons. So for size comparisons, here he is compared to an SH Figuarts Bakugo and an SH Figuarts Daima Adult Goku. I think he scales really well. The Shinkocchou Seihou line is known to be more accurate to scale when it comes to like human sizing, so he's not super short, he's not really skinny, so I think he's properly proportioned and looks great next to these guys. And here he is standing next to another Shinkocchou Seihou figure I own, Rider Man, and then the NECA movie TMNT Leonardo. Again, he's taller than Rider Man here, but I think it's probably accurate scaling. Isn't this guy like a huge kind of robot man that can be as tall as cities and buildings and stuff? I'm really interested to see, you know, people's pictures with him versus like Godzilla or Ultraman or something like that. That'd be pretty cool. And then the NECA stuff is always going to be taller. It's a domestic figure. And lastly, here he is next to the Marvel Legends animated series Spider-Man and the Marvel Legends Iron Man here. Again, he scales pretty well, I guess, with these guys. I mean, you could fudge it, you know, in photos. Of course, he's going to be shorter. Most imports are a little bit shorter. Marvel Legends are pretty big in some cases, but I still think it'll look cool. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. Alright, so for my final thoughts, I think this guy is super awesome. Like, I actually love, like, my two favorite parts of it is the proportions of the head, the way the head sculpt looks, and then just the range and the torso is really, really cool. Two things to keep in mind if you do want to pick up this guy for yourself, these knee pads will go flying pretty easily, or maybe that's just mine again being weird and just not being assembled correctly, but they will pop off, fly away, and get, you know, lost in the carpet. And also double check your feet to make sure you don't get two of the same foot. This is super disappointing actually, but hopefully Amazon has a replacement and they're not completely sold out. But if so, I mean, I guess I cherish the small moments I had with this guy. But yeah, super cool. Really glad that Gridman fans finally got something that, you know, kind of represents their character in an awesome light. I know he has this like jetpack thing. I don't know if they could have gave him like boosters or something like that. I don't even know if he uses that in the show or whatever, but yeah, definitely cool. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you're a Gridman fan, let me know. Does this figure kind of satisfy your craving for more Gridman merch? I know Figma was making a ton of it. And what would you like to see next? Hopefully Tamashii Nations or another company will make it. All right, thanks guys for watching. Take care and have a great rest of your day.